I am now sharing my screen and then we will talk about the things. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, welcome to the Salesforce developer group, Madhubani. And as some of you already know me, my name is Saifullah Safi and or Saf. We have started this group like 4 months ago. Our first meeting was in October, in which we discussed something like name credential, trigger verification, and also what exactly happens in Dreamforce or what was the Dreamforce. Some of the things were like Dreamforce is a yearly event that Salesforce organizes, in which Salesforce try to announce the new products, what exactly Salesforce is coming with, and also announce the MVP for that. Salesforce also comes up with the new ideas, and it is like around 3 to 5 days events, very big event that is happening in USA or Salesforce headquarters office, right? So what exactly happens in that 2021 Dreamforce that we talked about it? We talked about like what why the name credential came and what is the use of name credential. So these type of things we talked in the last meeting, and it was very good. Some of them, some of you won the developer voucher, certification voucher also. And yeah, this event we have come up with the new ideas. It was planned on 15th, but due to some uncertainty, it rescheduled for this week, for this Saturday. Still we don't have one speaker that we were thinking about, the lightning and all that. That speaker is not available at that moment, but yeah, we have two speakers. They will talk about multiple things and we will go into that, right? So as you know, I am in the sales Saifullah Safi. I was working with Google as a Salesforce application engineer. Right now I'm working as a contract with Google, so I'm working in multiple companies for now as a contract job. And also we have started multiple things in together, because this is a Salesforce event, so I'm not talking about myself too much. I will just directly talk about the introduction. Hopefully the timing will be not so big for us, like I'm sure in it should be wrap up in 2 hours. And you can post your questions in Q&A, and I will be happy to answer, or I will talk to the presenter or a speaker so they can answer. Otherwise, if there is no answer, we can still look into success community and all that. Yeah. So the agenda is like I will talk about the introduction that I right now am doing, and then Karan will talk about the power of Visual Force, and Saud will talk about the system design, or you can say, what to take care of when you are designing the system, when to code or when not to code, what exactly is the best approach. I will introduce about the Saud and Karan when it will come in the news, and then I will talk about the release update. The like Salesforce has come up with multiple releases. Normally it happens 3 times in a year, you can say summer, winter, and spring. And normally we talked about like what exactly came up with in the spring, because Salesforce has multiple clouds, multiple features, and multiple platform. So that's why Salesforce always come up with the new features every, you can say, every releases. So we will talk about that, and then we will have 10 MCQs type questions. That will be a fun round. In that, hopefully two or three winners will get some swags, because it is a virtual event. So that's why I cannot give you the swags right now, but yeah, you will I will take your email ID and I will send your uh, swag voucher to your email ID when I will receive from the Salesforce. So that's the plan. For now, I will be asking with, I think, Karan, if Karan is ready, and Karan will be able to take the call. So yeah, Karan. Thank you very much. I will first of all I will talk about the what exactly about the Karan. Karan was working with me in Techmatics Consulting, and then recently he joined Accenture as a senior Salesforce developer. He has development experience with multiple experience in Visual Force mostly, so that's why he will be talking about the Visual Force today, power of Visual Force today. Up to you, Karan. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I'm as Seth sir told about me. Thank you, Seth sir. Uh, Please tell me if the screen is shared and visible to all of you.
Yeah, yeah, can see. We can see.
Okay, okay, sir. Thanks. So everyone, today I'm talking about the topic that is the power of Visual Force. As we know that we are Salesforce developer and we have to work on multiple UIs and multiple custom developments, and it's including the Visual Force pages also, and the Aura components and LWC. They have a own benefits, on usage, and on limitations also. So I'm talking about the Visual Force page here. So this was early introduced by the Salesforce. Later on, the new versions are coming down and the auras are done. And right now, the LWC is in the top criteria. So Visual Force pages is also usages and benefits. So let's begin with the first slide. Right now, we are talking about the benefits of Visual Force pages. As you are seeing that there are, I am concluding 3 points. That one is user-friendly development. The user-friendly development, we can say, just because when we are doing with the Visual Force pages, just we have to do the HTML code and any of the UI frameworks, and use the Apex controller, and just save it, and just after save you can easily show, or easily visible in the Salesforce system. So once the code is saved, you can easily see. For the LWC, we are using the Visual Force Studio, and you know that every time the code is saved, you have to push the code into our Salesforce system. But in the Visual Force here we don't have to push every time. Just save the code from the developer console or from the setup, and the code is done, and you can see the output. So user friendly is also because we have a lots of HTML tags and CSS types of properties we are using in the Visual Force pages. So it is easy to do and easy to achieve the task. The second point is the model view controller. Model view controller, we can say, uh, 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 here we have the two-tier structure, that is the view and the controller. Controller, we can say the Apex classes, and the view, we can say the Visual Force pages. So when we are making a custom Visual Force pages, the two things we have to do first, that is the one making a Visual Force page, and second the Apex class. And by joining and by combining them, we can achieve the task. So view here specify as a Visual Force page, and controller is the Apex class. By merging them both, we can achieve the task. And the third point is integration with other web-based technologies like CSS and HTMLs, or you can use the JavaScripts also in the VF pages. So it's have a lot of advantages also. So um, as you know that VF also tags, HTML tags, it's their own tags, also Apex tags. So by using them, we can achieve the task. So moving towards the next slide. So what is the use of Visual Force pages? Where we can use that and where we can apply that in our Salesforce development and our daily development. I have written some points that where we can deploy Visual Force pages. So here we can apply the custom buttons, the public sites, tabs, layouts, and lightning record points. I will show you one by one. Uh, Let me go to my. This is my org personal log. So the first point is that we can make the custom buttons. We can apply the Visual Force page on the custom buttons. Custom buttons is on.
One quick question, one funny question.
Yes, sir.
This is your personal org. How Mark Benioff gave you this org? The
Yes, sir.
personal org. It was a good thing. Like, okay,
Like
so personal development org. Yeah, thank
yes, yes, everybody has their personal for their learning and for doing experimenting things in the Salesforce, because we can do the experiment things in the client org. So everybody has their own developer. Okay. So uh, begin with the first point. This is the custom button. So as you know that we have two types of buttons here: the lightning actions for the lightning components in LWC, and the second one is display uh, custom button also. So for the Visual Force pages, we have to use that buttons and apply in that page layout so that they can be visible. You can use in the retail page uh, record page layout. So and it will be available on any standard objects also given by the Salesforce, and also we can put that button in the custom objects. So um, let me show you one record. So if you talk about the custom buttons, we have the option. This is new button or link. So uh, for making a Visual Force pages, first we have to make one Visual Force pages. So you can make the Visual Force pages directly through the developer console also, and from the setup also, by going there and apply a new button. So I'm making from here. So the wave page is done, and we can apply the Visual Force pages to the account object, because I am applying here the account object. So the standard controller would be the account object, so that it can be that this Visual Force button is able to visible in the option here. So we have to refresh the page again. You can see the option is coming here, the demo 1vf, and just give the name of the button and save it. It shows me that we have to use that button in the page layout also. So going back to any of the record, um, by using the edit layout, going to the button. So I can put the button here, and also for the lightning. So that's for the classic version, and above for the lightning version, and save. So the record is finally here, and you can see the new button we have made right now. This is here. So any of the task you can say the custom development, any of the custom development you are achieving from the Visual Force pages are doing through the custom button also. So right now we have a blank page. So if you click this page, nothing is visible after clicking, and nothing is here. While I can show you in the above next slides how can we do the coding in Visual Force pages. But coming back to the PPT, the second thing is public sites. So here you can see the button have a functionality of Visual Force pages in the Salesforce ecosystem only. But when you're giving the functionality of Visual Force pages outside the Salesforce, so for that purpose, we have to make the public sites also. So Salesforce have given a beautiful feature. This is the public site in which we can make Visual Force pages available to the guest users, or for the that users that from the outside from the Salesforce. So setup, from setup we can go to the sites.
Guest user as in community user or public site?
Public site, sir, public site.
Okay.
So you can see for the sites you have your site to be a domain specific domain name. Once the domain name is there for your current org, the sites will be available to use for you. So you can see the once just type of test site is here. So um, if you see there is one site is already done by me and it was just a test site. And in this test site you have to edit or add visual force pages you have implemented so far in your through your developer console, or any of the visual force pages that whatever the requirement of the client or anyone, you can just simply add the visual force pages from this button. So you can see there are lots of visual force pages available in this org, and you can drag and drop any of the button. So if you see, I have made it one quickly right now, so I am just using it. Okay. You can also make a new sites also. I'm just using the previous one which I have made for the testing purpose, but you can also make the new sites also from this button. Okay, just giving the label name and uh, allowing all the things which you want in the site, and you can make a new site also. So as I am using the previous site, I am just added the newly page which I built right now. This is the page, and you can use that page by using this custom URL. So the URL is done, and by appending the page name here, we can use the public. So I can tell you that we have a one. Uh, how can we make a public URL? Just use the HTTP URL this and append the new page name which you have made it right now. So this was the previous one as I'm introducing the new page here. So the new site is din, and you can able to use this public URL from your desktop, laptop, any of the device like mobile also. For make sure the mobile device had their mobile capability to hold on the screens. So for we have to be take care of the things like while opening the visual force pages in mobile, it should be mobile view also. So you can see there is one public URL. You can open this URL from any of the uh, Google Chrome or any of the browsers. So you can see the functionality. You cannot add here. First beauty thing is for the visual force here is that you can see the public sites have only the functionality of adding the visual force here only. So if your client or if you anybody have the requirement to give the public access, so we have only option the visual force pages here. So even if you have made it the aura components or lightning web components, you have to call the visual force pages, and by calling that visual force pages you can add that from here. So you can make directly the VF, or you can call any of things to VF and use that VF in this. So also you see.
Just one little bit question, just for the sake of everyone can understand that. So you are saying like if whenever you need a public page or public
y-
site, you will
yes,
always need the VF page, and if you want to add the LWC and Aura in that, so you
Mhm.
have to call the VF page and include the LWC and Aura in that VF page, right?
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay.
By
What exactly is the need of public site? Why we use the public site? Any idea?
public site is just a feature given by the Salesforce to use the functionality outside users, outside guest users, you can say, because you have every if you want user, you have to get a license from the Salesforce. Okay, so suppose you have a client and some kind of means you want to catch some details in Salesforce system. So for catch, suppose you have a requirement that you have to get the feedback kind of thing, or you have a test drive kind of thing, and you have to get the records in the system. So what you will make the public site and give that Visual Force pages. Visual Force pages conclude all the forms which is capturing the record in Salesforce, and you publish that URL in the sites, in the websites also. So you see
So this
here.
means public page can be accessible outside the Salesforce. We don't need
Uh-huh.
to log in or something, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
You see any of the website you click, any of the website you click, you see various forms are there in their websites. So just
Okay.
forms are to collect the data, and by that we are using, we are saving the data in our Salesforce.
Yeah, sure. Thank
Here I have not developed any of the design and any of the controller, any of the save method to capturing the record. I am just using the blank page, so you are seeing that this is the all the blank. But when we are making a form, the this thing is all visible for all. Okay, so but one more thing, for using the public sites, for using the public site, you have to give the uh, FLS, or we can say the authority to what objects or what fields they are they are able to fetch. Means I can say that we have developed one visual for pages here, say, and lots of, if we have lots of field like capturing the contact and address. So for that address and phone number, we have to give the access right also to the guest user. By allowing that access right, you can get the detail in Salesforce. If we didn't give any of the access, we are not able to hold the, or we have no able to save the record in Salesforce. So must sure that you have also given the rights to that object and fields also. For giving the access right to that page, suppose we have made one page demo, one pf, and I have to give the right to save the record in my account object, we have to give the rights also. So we have one button, public access settings. By clicking that public access settings, you will get a next page in which you see there are a lot of access rights also for giving that user to provide the detail. So we have a object right also. You can see it down there. Yeah. So for capturing the account record else, we have to do the read and create kind of write for that visual 4 pages, so that people can push the data in Salesforce. Also we can down you see the object kind of thing, and also the field kind of thing from here. So you have to give the all rights to the fields also, whatever kind of field you are giving them to get the access, and read and edit access kind of thing. All the fields are visible here. So it's kind of accessibility which we are generally giving to the profile. If we are going to the profile here, we have to see the lots of profiles we are making in our Salesforce ecosystem. That kind of thing also in this sites also. So sites we can also able to achieve who can see, who can read, and who can create things which are available globally. Okay, so the you have talked about the custom buttons which I have shown you, and the public sites. Also we have functionality of custom tabs also. You can see above here there are lots of tabs. These are the standard tabs given by the Salesforce, but also we can make the custom ones also. So we can also give the tabs functionality of Visual Force pages, just going to the tab, clicking from the setup, and you can see there's an option of Visual Force tabs also. So by clicking a new button, you can see that there is an also an option to give the functionality of Visual Force pages onto the tab. So just select the page I have just made it to you, this one, and add the label and kind of things and save. By clicking save, you can say there were lots of tabs here. By opening the tabs, any of the tabs, the functionality of the Visual Force are able to see on the tabs also. So this is also a good feature. If I show you tab, we are just building so as to get the collection of things into the single page. So whenever there is one requirement in which you want to which you want to show to the client that these are the number of users, specific users, to be accessible by some branches, by some of the users. By giving that visual force functionality onto the tab, we can go to the profile, and from that profile we can give the access right to the tabs also by hidden off or hidden on. So this is also the good functionality. By default I am just giving default on to the several users. By clicking on this button, I'm just giving, here is our new tab. The tab consists our Visual Force pages. You can see from the above URL the Visual Force pages. Right now the Visual Force page had none of the coding, so it's just giving the blank as usual. So the functionality also, the tab, and I am saying that you can able to giving the functionality of tab to the specific profiles. I'm just clicking the system administrator, and you can give the tabs hidden on of future also. So here we can see the standard tabs, and below down we can see the custom tabs. And the custom tab, here we have a custom badge which is on, and you can make off from here also. So it is visible for any of the profile which you want. By this visual 4 pages, you can do any of the functionality, any of the kind of thing, means show some data and save some data, push some data, so any kind of thing. Okay. The fourth one is the page layouts. Page layouts are also a good functionality. Salesforce, Salesforce has given uh, one object, standard object, that is account. And in account, we have seen that this is the standard page layout. And page layout, this is the standard kind of thing. You know that better know that the fields and the sections are done by dragging and drop. So also we can put the custom Visual Force page in the page layouts also. So for that we have an option, just edit the layout, and by going to the Visual Force pages, we can drag and drop the custom VF page to the page also. Just here we have a functionality of this also. So this is the good functionality, means you have to play with the standard things also and the custom things also, all on the same page. So this is also a good feature. Okay. And last point is the lightning record page. So you are seeing the classic version also. You can put the Visual Force pages, your custom development, on the lightning record pages also. So by switching it to the lightning experience, I will show you future. Yeah, we have a record account opened here, and by clicking from here, edit page, you can put the all functionality in this page, lightning page. So these are the list of the functionalities you can drag and drop to the actual lightning page. Here you can see the functionality of Visual Force pages also. So we can drop Visual Force pages here, and if when the we put that Visual Force, it gives me the accessibility option, that what visual phase you have to put that here. So we have we can give the Visual Force pages name from the here. So but make sure that Visual Force pages have the accessibility of lightning also. So we have one checkbox in the Salesforce system in every of the Visual Force pages. I can see you. The demo one is not going to be reflected here because we have not given the additional functionality into that page. We are just jumping to that page. Yeah, demo one we have. and and here you see there is one checkbox. This checkbox will give the additional feature that you can put this page onto the lightning record also and onto the mobile view also. So we have to check this checkbox. By clicking this checkbox, that visual force pages also come here also. For that we have to refresh one more time. There, there you see the option is now getting able to put that visual force page here. So this is also the beauty. You can put the custom development of visual force pages in the lightning record page also. So by saving it, we can see the newly added visual force pages on our lightning record pages. Okay, so I'm not put it because we have to give some authority kind of thing. I'm just showing you the how can we put the visual force page in the lightning record page. So I'm switching it again to the classic. So I have shown you that we can make the custom buttons onto the record page. How I am showing you the public sites in which we give to the public URL kind of thing to the multiple user. They can use that public URL onto their sites. They can give the public URL onto their mobile phones just to give the feedback and just to give the input what the kind of input the client wants. Custom tabs, layouts, and the lightning record page. So this is the benefits of the visual pages. You can make the development from the VF pages and put that VF onto these platforms. So if I'm talking about the visual force pages, there is one standard controller account. This is the functionality given by the Salesforce to do the standard kind of thing, like just showing the fields, input type of thing, and output, and save the standard fields also. But generally, we don't use the standard kind of thing in Salesforce. We make visual force pages just to do the custom development, not for the standard. So there is one scenario in which we have to make standard thing also, but that's for some rare cases. But generally we do the custom development. For the custom development, we have one pages and we have to make one Apex class. So all the controller and the server kind of thing can be done through the Apex class. Sorry for the noise, guys. So by
Uh,
merging how
that's a rhythm. Sorry for the noise, guys. Did you join
just
any music? So band. Sorry for the noise, guys. Yeah.
no. You know that everybody have their remotely work from the home and this disturbing kind of thing from the neighboring outside. So I can't able to do this. How can I stop?
No problem. It is very good. Session has been very good. There are some questions, but we will answer in the later.
Okay. So here's the way we can connect the custom controller to the specific page. Now the all the functionality you will give it in this public this Apex class you can achieve through this page. So we have lots of I'm just removing it the kind of standard kind of thing which you standard kind of thing which you visible on when I showed you previously, but now the standard kind of things are gone out now and you can make the purely screen here. So for using the Apex kind of thing, we have to start with Apex form and for the page loading section we have to make the constructor and all the things which you want to show on the page load, you have to put the code into the constructor. So right now the constructor is blank. So if you want to get records, yeah. I'm just using fetching the records here. So you see, I am retrieving the records from the Salesforce limit 10. So all the accounts are able to you accounts are coming in this list. So for presenting this list in the visual 4 pages or in the UI you have to make the get set kind of thing for doing the purpose. So if you want to use the list in the Apex page, what you do have to make this list as a get set. Means it works as a to and fro for the visual 4 pages and the controller. So you can use here this. Give me 5 minutes more. I can show you somehow how can we able to do. So now the list is able to use in our visual 4 pages. Okay, and this is the this is a list. So for using so here you can see the 10 records are coming for, and for iterating the 10 records we just have to use the apex repeat method, apex repeat tag, sorry. And in that apex repeat it gives kind of iteration kind of thing. So just put the value and the list name. See, one more thing, for building Visual Force pages, you can see that we have a functionality of standard kind of things like Apex page block section and Apex page block section and Apex. But the UI of this is you can make beautiful UI by using the SLDS. So by going to the SLDS Lightning Design System, you will make the far more better UIs for the Visual Force pages. Okay, you can see all the utilities from here, and just by any going from any utility you can achieve. So we have apex tags also, and we can use the lightning styles also. For doing that uh, SLDS kind of thing, we have to put the SLDX tags also here, SLDS tag. And by using that SLDS tag we can able to use the lightning design also. So we can enhance the designability of the Visual 4 pages using the SLDS. So get accounts, just giving the variable name. Just simply put. See, the IDs are coming of all the 10 records, but it's in the horizontal manner. For fixing this horizontal to the vertical kind of thing, we can make tables also in this VF pages. So we can make table, but this table is the not a better UI. You can also use the grid kind of system. Table, let me show you one thing. You have to give the height width also. So just saving the code, you can see the
It is correct. Only the line number 7 will be after line number 14.
what's it?
Next repeat should be after, closing of repeat.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we have to put the code into the Apex repeat. My mistake. See, you can see the datas are now coming in the table format. We can also use the grid kind of thing for make the better UI. So for using the grid, I am telling you that you can just divide the entire page into the 12 sections and play with that 12 sections. Every pages, no, every pages have there. You can divide it into the 12 sections and you can use that code. So you can see there is a by default 12 sections here. So if you want to do the partitions, make sure that you are dividing the exactly the good partition, not from the right you have written the 12 here and you are just parting the 14 kind of thing. So make sure the highest divisibility is 12 and you can partition from that 12. Okay, so also you have the good functionality of the how can we. So I'm just using I have just displayed you the how can we retrieving the account ID. You can also using the variables. The same get set kind of thing and use that variable in that page. And Visual Force giving the also the functionality that you can make the Visual Force pages to be as a PDF also. So we have one functionality, render as kind of thing. We can make PDF or doc, any type of Visual Force pages you want to do, but using this tag only. So you oh sorry. One limitation is that by using the render as PDF, you have to remove the Apex SLDS kind of thing because that is a limitation that you can use the SLDS in the VF PDF kind of thing. So now you can see the PDF is done. For using the PDF, you have to only make the tables or standards things, but we are not able to use the lightning. So back to the page. We have one functionality in which we call our um, methods. Suppose we are making one method, and you we can make one method and give the functionality to this method and call that method from the button which we can make from our Visual Force pages directly. So by using the command button, give the action. So by using this button, you can give the all the functionality of the methods to be done. Okay, and we have all functionality also in which we can which you can make the JavaScript kind of thing in the VF pages also. So we have certain scenarios in which we have to do the script kind of things, like we have to do some validations, and we have to use some internal style sheets also. So for that purpose, we can use a script. Okay, so by calling that script, you can just call the on click and put the JavaScript function name here, and by using that apex on click, we can call the script JavaScript function. And after doing all the scripting kind of thing, if we want to do to jump to the apex controller, what we have to use the apex action function to jump to the apex controller. So by clicking this button, we are moving first, we are going to the JavaScript method. JavaScript method, we are jumping to the apex controller. So we have one method, save account. You can call that method save account, and by using the name, you can achieve the task. Okay, so the flow will be when we are using JavaScript functionality, and on from the JavaScript functionality, if we are jumping to the apex, the flow should be the this. We are jumping to the first feature JavaScript method, and from JavaScript method, we are jumping to the apex action function. So there are lots of things. I have showed you the renderers thing kind of thing, and the apex SLDS. You have to use the design kind of thing, better UIs. You have to use apex SLDS, and you can I'm just giving you the detail about this page. So this is the page in which you see that I'm fetching all the IDs. But if you want to be use a particular ID, means if we are using a button, record kind of button. If I am using this button, and if I have to work on this the specific ID, or means the specific account record, so we have one kind of thing that you have to use this apex and get the apex ID from the above URL. So this is the tags generally given by the Salesforce to use and work on the specific ID. So you can see this apex class, I uses this code, and by using this record ID, I'm fetching and I'm working on that record only. So I'm making one SOQL. You can see I am retrieved the record from opportunity, where that opportunity ID should be the record ID, which I'm fetching from the above URL. Okay, so if you want to play and if you want to achieve the task on the specific record, you can use this standard things. Okay, you see I have used. I can show you the using of wrapper class functionality also. So you can also do the wrapper kind of thing. So what is the need of this wrapper class? Because I have one condition, you can see that I have to work on the opportunity line items. So in one opportunity, you have multiple opportunity line items, and to play on that line item, multiple line items, we have to make a wrapper. So wrapper I have done, and first after the wrapper is done, you have to make a list of the wrapper list, and just using the get set kind of thing also, because I am using the list on the page also. So the page we have make on get set, we have just make one for loop and decided that for of each field of the opportunity line item, I am mapping my wrapper variable. So you can see that we have one wrapper variable date of product, and I'm just mapping the date of product to the opportunity line item service state. This is the service that. So by doing this mapping of the wrapper class, we can achieve the task and put that, you can see the wrapper list in the apex repeat, and we can show the multiple opportunity item on to the single page. So this is also the good functionality of wrapper in our Visual 4 pages. So this is the all the functionalities you can do. We have vast number of functionalities in Visual 4 pages. Like if you want to use the Apex related list kind of
Yeah, there
thing
are
in
like
the VF pages, so
so
we have Apex
Karan.
related
Hmm. So
list
yeah, there are multiple things,
available
Karan, but the
to that
problem is like
object. So suppose we have account, I'm making the Visual 4 page on the account object, and I have to use a related list of the childs of the account. So we have one related list also. We have lots of functionalities in, and we can achieve the task onto these platforms. So yeah, I'm done with it. Hope it was not boring kind of thing. So let's succeed together. Thank you. Over to you, Sat sir.
can you hear me? Yeah. Hello. Uh, yeah. Okay. So thank you very much. There was one question. The question was, everyone can hear me, right? Anyone can tell me, like, if you can hear me, Karan? Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. So there were one question, and I will just give the answer for that. The question was like, can we also give role hierarchy to the external user? So no, we cannot give. The problem with that is like there is only one user with, they don't have any hierarchy and all that. I will show you like what exactly it means. So you can see this is the user. So this user does not have any role hierarchy or something, and this user is just test site guest user. So this means this user can access the record, but access that VF page, but cannot go into the Salesforce. So you can see there is no option to add the role that you are asking, right? So we were on that profile, that is you can say site guest user profile. In that we wanted to find like, okay, there is any user or not. So yeah, you can see by yourself, but yeah, your, I think your questions is answered. So here you can go and you can see directly, okay, this is the site label, and in this public access setting is there. So this is a profile. So in the profile you can give the access, but there is no option to add the users and all that, add the roles in this user. Yeah. So that was the question. I think, I believe your answer is done. Okay. Any other question you have? No. Okay. So it was a big round. Karan tried to go with all the topics that he can think of. Yeah, I may say like it was a long session, but because the say, visual force is forgotten for sometimes, but we can see visual force is still useful and it is not going anywhere uh, too soon, because it's still LWC, and Aura does not have so much feature as Visual Force page. So that's why Visual Force page is not going to now. So thanks to Karan Kumar. Uh, I hope there was only one question for him. And yeah, so there is two more thing in our session, nothing new. And please bear with us. Hopefully it will be a very knowledgeable session for you. So first thing is I will move to the second topic, that is with Saud. Saud is a senior business analyst in Techmatics Consulting. He has around 5 years of experience in that. He has done multiple, I think, 18 to 30 projects till now, and he was a pure business analyst in that. He was also a developer, good developer, so that's why we invited him, like, why exactly it's changed. And also we wanted to know, like, when to use the coding and when not to use, what exactly has the features of Salesforce. So that's why I'm giving to Saud for the sessions, and hopefully he will be able to give all the details to you. So over to you, Saud.
Okay. Thank you, Seth. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, we can.
Okay, okay. Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Saud, as Seth already introduced. Okay, just wanted to add few more points to my introduction that I am a business analyst in Techmetrics Consulting from last 5 years, and also I have started the role of solution architect, right? Me and Saf together joined Salesforce as a technology 5 years ago. We were college mates as well. Now he is a senior developer, and I have changed my position to solution architect. Okay, so coming back to the topic, as I saw in the slide, right? I just wanted to confirm: aren't there any disturbance in my voice, because I'll be displaying less and talking more? So, can anyone confirm? Am I audible properly? Seth, can you please confirm? My voice is clear.
We can hear you.
Okay,
Go
okay,
ahead.
okay, okay. Great, great. Okay, so coming back to the topic, I saw on the introductory slide that the solution for me was written, the topic for me was written as solutioning in Salesforce. Right. So the actual topic is little bit different from that, and you'll be little surprised when I'll be revealing that topic of this session, as I'm aware that most of the audience over here is from developer background, right? But I believe that this is something which needs to be shared with you all, especially the fresher developers who are about to join Salesforce, or who have just joined Salesforce recently, because as we all know that a developer will not remain on the same level always, right? Because whenever a fresher joins as a developer, he will be taking commands from his senior developers, right? But with time, will come a time when he will himself be a solution designer, right? He will himself be a tech lead, where he have to take certain decisions based on the requirements, right? How to implement the things, how to code the things, right? Or even whether to code or not, right? So there will be certain decisions that developer will be taking, so whether the code is required here or not, right? So this is the topic. So my topic's name is clicks, not code. Okay, I'm repeating it again: clicks, not code. Okay, so basically I am telling the developers on this session that they should be using point and clicks functionality of Salesforce instead of coding the things. Is it the thing I mean? Okay, so this is not the case. Basically, both of these have their own significance, right? When we talk about point and click functionality in Salesforce, and we talk about coding in Salesforce, both of these have their own significance, right? The only thing is, we as a resource of Salesforce has to identify which is more significant and when, right? So let me share my screen with your permission, so that we can go through a small deck that I have prepared for you. Okay, so with your permission, I am sharing my screen.
We were able to see, but now it's stopped.
I think there was some internet disturbance. Am
Now
I
we can see. Yeah, we can see.
audible
Yeah.
still?
Yeah. We can hear you, and yeah, so we can hear you.
Okay, can anyone confirm? Am I still audible to all of you?
Yep.
Saif, are you there?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, guys, I think there was some internet disturbance. Okay, I am back, and so my internet is. So I'm sharing my screen, and let me know when you are able to see it.
Yeah, we can see and we can hear.
Okay, you are able to see the PPT, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I am presenting the slide. Okay, so this is the topic, as I mentioned, clicks, not code. And sorry for the interruption. We as a sales, like any other developer, love to code, right? Any uh, see this because as a developer, whenever we join as a developer, we have that thinking in mind that we will go to the organization and will have a desk and a developer console, and we will start writing the code line by line. After all, with custom coding, we are in full control of what we are doing. We can build the framework we want, we orchestrate the triggers, classes, and help classes, etc., and manage all of them at one place. Right? So, this is the benefit of development. We all are aware of that. But wait, hold on. There is a saying in Salesforce, why gather the flour, eggs, cream, butter, sugar, and bake a cake when you can make use of the cake you have already bought? Right. So clicks, not code. If you have been involved in Salesforce industry recently, you are working in it for certain time, you have probably heard about this mantra, right? If you have not have heard about it, what is mean is using point and click development rather than writing code, right? Also, you have heard that Salesforce as a company pushes it, and you hear industry professionals as well for a good reason. Salesforce provides a wealth of avenues to accomplish complex work without code, and as a certified Salesforce professional, I can speak from experience that options exist for most of the scenarios to use point and click development. Okay, so what I am suggesting here is to use the functionalities that Salesforce provide by standard instead of using the custom ones. So for example, I am suggesting use process builders instead of Apex coding. Use validation rules instead of Apex triggers. Use workflows approval process instead of Apex coding. Also use lightning flows instead of multiple visual force pages or components. And also I suggest that use formula rollup summary fields instead of triggers and coding. Okay, so there were two pointers over here. When I say process build and workflows, so some of you guys are already aware that Salesforce is going to deprecate these things and has started promoting the use of lightning flows, right? So that is a separate topic altogether. But currently, because these things are still in use, that is why I am suggesting these on this slide. Okay, so by this suggestion, I do not uh, uh, I'm not saying that you do not need to use the custom things, right? But I am suggesting that whenever possible, right, and wherever possible, you should be using the standard things The reason is something that will be coming in the next slides, but my suggestion for up till this slide is this one, right? And also that said, there are certain situations in which custom code is useful and even preferred to point and click development, right? So one is not saying that you have to use only one side. There are certain situations where other side is also useful and preferred to point and click development. In those times it is important to understand the underlying meaning of clicks not code, right? So when you will be having the understanding when to clicks, when to use clicks and not code, only when you will be having the idea of when to code and not click, and when to code and click together, right? In order to bring the best solutions to our work. So before getting into clicks and code, it is worthy to understand the benefits of clicks and not code approach. So in the further slides, we will be having the benefits of using clicks instead of code, right? And before going forward, let me give you an example, right? How the clicks and code together will make the things more efficient. Okay, so I believe 99.9% of the audience here eats pani puri, right? Everyone does. Seth, you already do that. I believe everyone.
Have a chance. I didn't have a chance. No, no.
Okay, so you are in that 0.1%. No worries. Okay, so most of the audience, I believe, eats pani puri, right? And me myself is having a choice of eating it on street shops, right? But sometime what happens is we order pani puri from restaurant through Zomato or Swiggy or whatever, right? So how it comes when it comes to order, they wrap the things uh, individually, like they put aloo, pani, right, puri in separate polythene bags, and this simply delivers to us. So what we have to do from that package, we will pick up the things of our choice and will simply decorate the items and serve it according to our requirement. So some people will prefer meetha pani, some will prefer khatta pani, right? Oh, sorry, pani aa gaya mere muंह में तो some will have a little onion, right? Some will have more. Some will can also bring up some namak mirchi from their kitchen and sprinkle on that, right? So they'll beautify the thing and will enhance the thing based on their requirement from the things that were delivered to them, right? So this is the case of point and click functionality, that you will be enhancing the things based on the requirement, right? So first you need to have the requirement with you, and from the provided things you will be implementing the thing according to the choice, right? So this is the case from with Salesforce also, right? So this is not a free product, right? The client is paying money for it. So when you are buying something, the main motto should be how the best you can pull up the things from there without building the things from scratch, right? Also, if take an example that you ordered a biryani from restaurant, right? So while serving the biryani, you also have the choice to make the serve even better by preparing a raita sort of something from scratch, right? You go to the kitchen, you prepare a raita of any sort of raita, right? Pineapple raita, for example. You prepare it from scratch and serve it with biryani, with ready-made biryani, right? So this will make your dish more lazeez. Okay, so this was one of the example. Moving forward, I am going to give you few of the key benefits of using clicks over code. Okay, so I am listing few of the pointers over here. One is the key benefit involves the availability of options without code, right? So even if someone is not doing code, still Salesforce provide a lot of options to him from where he can implement the things, right? Salesforce provide a lot of options for development of applications without code. It provide us one of the common one is to customize the view of information using record types and page layouts, right? So I believe everyone is familiar about these terms. Let us take a use case when a client had asked us for a complex UI for a record page. Okay. So as a requirement, what you have received, a customer is asking for a very complex layout for example, for account record page, right? So there are three possible approaches before starting creating a UI altogether. Firstly, what we have to do, we will try to identify how can this requirement be fulfilled using the standard record type and page layouts, right? So this should be our first approach. The ideal scenario is it gets fulfilled, right? That we are able to achieve that requirement from the standard page layouts and record types. Secondly, there is a possibility that the exact requirement is not getting fulfilled with the standard page layouts and record types. So what we'll do in this case, we will not start building up the custom UI altogether. We will try to convince the client that this is something we can achieve through standard drag and drop functionality, and this is something that we will not be able to achieve. And if you want us to achieve that functionality also, we have to replace the complete standard thing with the custom one, right? So we have to convince the client also for that standard functionalities, even if he has to shortlist his wish list a little bit. The last scenario is if the client is not agreeing upon his wish list, he we have no choice other than using a custom interface. Only then there comes the scope of using custom code, right? So this was a very simple example, but I think this will give you an idea of how to approach for implementation of such small things also, right? So in my experience, I have seen in my, in fact, in one of my recent project, I have seen that we created custom layout after getting forced by client, right? And later when the maintenance of those custom layouts became an headache for the client also, because the project was implemented and the client was supporting his own project by his own team, then they came back to us and the whole thing was had to be rolled back to the standard, right? Because only for 1% of his requirement, what we had to do, we had to replace the entire page layout with a custom interface, right? So that is the thing that we also learned from our past, and the freshers like you should also learn that whenever a requirement comes to you, you have to analyze what is the best possible solution in that case, right? Second is the simplicity of Salesforce customization. So this is quite easily understandable by the term that whenever we are using customization, right, or we will say the configuration, it is quite easier to make up the things, right? For example, if I'm taking a similar example of page layout, we all know how adding or removing or rearranging a field, be it a record page or a screen through a quick action, is quite simpler, right? Similarly, a development time. So this is also quite clear that the time allotted to accomplish something via code will almost always take more time than a similar task via point and click development. And this time could be saved to complete a separate high priority task, right? Similarly, the another benefit is long lasting maintenance. So this is a huge lesson, I would say, especially for those working with clients in a consulting role, because we all know that each product has, each implementation has an end date, right? So at that point of time, client will have to take over the maintenance of the system, debugging issues that come up, and introducing the enhancement also as and when the business changes. So surely at that time, anyone will have that visibility that if his system is built mostly with point and click development, is far easier to maintain as compared to the coded one, right? So the key example for a click no code approach is something that I am going to showcase you in the next slide. So the example I have is the flow builder, right? So you must have heard about the flows, lightning flows in Salesforce, right? So I believe this is one of the best examples where we can use clicks instead of code, right? So here I again want to verify, uh, are we all following the slides, right?
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay, okay, great, great. Okay, so when we talk about flows, right? To give you an example, in my this slide, I am showcasing two components, right? One is on the top left, and another is at the below bottom, right bottom. Okay, so these are the components, and these components have a similar functionality to achieve. From the top component, what I'm doing, I am filling up some parameters and uploading some files against a record page. Similar is the use case on the next component. Similarly, I am filling up some parameters and uploading a file from this component as well. So if you see, on these two components, the functionality is similar, right? But the approach of both are different, right? And both of these screenshots are of my projects which we implemented in the past. The below one, right? The below one is something that we have developed from custom code. The upper one is something that we have developed through lightning flows, right? So the difference is minimal, right? But the difference in effort and maintenance is quite big, right? So when we developed the component which is on below side, we were not aware of the power of flows, right? But when we understood that, when we learned that, we got to know that whatever we built in our earlier project can be easily done using flows. So there is a possibility that it may take more time, right? But in the long run, when we talk about the changes, when we talk about the maintenance in future, when we talk about Salesforce releases, right, then the upper component becomes much more efficient, right? So the idea of showcasing you this slide is, whenever a requirement comes, right, it is not necessary that we should start doing it from scratch, because as a developer it remains our mentality, right? We always think that coding is much more easier than any other thing, because we always had control on our code, right? But if I give you an example, we all know that Salesforce pushes 3 releases each year, right? And those release updates are only affecting the standard functionalities in Salesforce, right? If you have built something custom in your project, so that update will not be enhancing that custom part, right? Only the updates will affect the standard functionalities. So that is why I am saying it again and again, that to have the efficiency in system, if you talk about the future scope of whatever you have implemented, if you keep an eye on the maintenance of that product in near future, then if possible, the best approach is always to use points and clicks development in Salesforce, right? And we also call it as declarative programming. So I was talking about lightning flow. Lightning flow is designed with these key principles: the clarity, efficiency, consistency, and beauty, right? So lightning flows has been overhauled to make it easier than ever to create a process oriented logic that can execute based on actions and events, right? It is powerful enough to achieve a lot of same things that a developer would achieve within Apex triggers. Okay, I'm repeating this again. It is powerful enough to achieve a lot of things that a developer would achieve writing Apex triggers, right? So this itself shows the power of lightning flows. Also, as I showcased you in my previous slide, we can use the interfaces also, right? And that kind of interfaces, which we usually build using LWCs and Aura component, right? So these are also possible using lightning flows. Similarly, and this is all done without writing any code, right? And adding everywhere with a point or click using pre-built functions in the flow designer that are drag and drop. So this, whatever I just said, it summarizes how a configurative point and click approach is always better than coded one, right? But not always, but only in cases where it fits, right? So the statement I'm going to make now Just a second. Okay, things are okay. Okay, so the statement I am going to make now is especially for the freshers who have just recently joined Salesforce and are in the deciding stage whether to be a Salesforce admin or a developer. So after seeing the key benefits of using clicks over code, you might be wondering, why would anyone use custom code, right? So this is the first question which arises to our mind whenever we read the advantages of using clicks in Salesforce other than writing a code, right? So why would anyone use a custom code? So custom code has its own benefits, right? Because there are certain limitations which always come with the standards, right? So there only one thing can help us, and that is code approach, right? So code approach has already has its own benefits over clicks. There are a few which I have mentioned, and there are multiple, right? The first one is the bulk situation. So when we talk about bulk situations, what we mean is if data is consistently loaded in mass quantities, right? Or complex processing of data is needed to occur, especially in concert with other data in the system, it is best to introduce custom code to help handle such situations, right? So if I give you an example here, there was a recent implementation in one of my project where a bulk data needed to be uploaded in system, and that imported data will be updating three different object records, right? So that was a complex requirement. Even the process builder workflows and flows will face challenge to implement such complex scenarios where automation on bulk data is required. So whenever such scenarios occur, it is always recommended to use the coding approach, right? Similarly, complex logic scenarios. So we all know that we can make the logics using our point and click scenarios, but there are always limitations, right? The complexity is finite in point and click development. But when we talk about code approach, there is anything that anything can be done whatever we want, right? No matter how complex is the scenario, but this can be approached this can be implemented using the coding approach. So suppose if a calculation is very complex and it is to be done, what what a Salesforce admin will do, he may be using process builder for that, right? And within those process builders, to accomplish the complexity, he will be using multiple criterias, he will be using multiple actions, he will be using multiple criterias within actions, right? So that will overload the system, that is not going to complete the requirement. Over here, the best suggested thing is you should go for a custom trigger, right? And over that you can complete your logics, right? Similarly, as we have already discussed, if there is any specific need or request for a custom interface, right? We are pretty clear over this, right? It can be custom pop-ups on buttons, custom interfaces, custom reports, or a custom dashboard altogether, right? Where client is not agreeing upon the standard layouts, right? Client wants the look and feel of his own choice. So these are some of the scenarios where the custom coding is suggested, right? And it is quite efficient in these cases. So the conclusion over here is the answer to build the best solution for your Salesforce environment is to combine clicks and code based on business needs, right? So it is very evident from the discussion so far that there is nothing like only clicks or nothing like only code, right? If you want a complete implementation, what you have to do, you have to identify the requirements, you have to identify the approach, you have to identify the things that can be implemented using point and clicks, and the other things which can be implemented using clicks on using code only, right? But my suggestion here is you only go with code in case you are not able to achieve something using point and clicks, right? And in this way, the solution will be more efficient in the long run. So this is my conclusion. Okay. And when we talk about clicks and code together, right, there are certain things that Salesforce provides us. uh, to just give you an overview of few things, we have custom labels in Salesforce, we have custom metadata and custom settings, there are design attributes, and we have custom objects, obviously, right? So I'm not going into deep details on these. Most of us are already aware of these. In case they are not, they will be learning these, right? But to just give you an overview, these are something in Salesforce which will be used with coding but will be managed by a system admin, right? So this showcases the relationship how a system admin and a coder will work together to bring the system, to bring the implementation in an efficient way, right? So this was something that I wanted to share with you guys. Hope it is helpful in somehow, right? Now the next thing is something that I would say as a small gaming round, I would say, right? I want everyone to participate in it, right? So Seth, should I start?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Before going that one,
Hmm.
just give me one. Uh, Guys, you have any question related to that? You can ask in Q&A section, and I will ask Saud to help you if you have, like if you have any questions,
Yeah,
right? So
sure, sure.
meanwhile, you can write in the Q&A. Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
Saud.
okay. So this round I would say is basically click or code, right? So it is a voting round sort of something, right? So what you have to do, you have to vote, right? In the next slide, I'll be showcasing you a requirement, and you have to tell me whether what
You're on mute, please.
what you missed.
Yeah, first question. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I was saying, I'll be showcasing you the requirement, and based on that requirement, you have to post whether your approach will be with clicks or it will be with code.
You
Okay.
can type your answer. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
All
they
right.
can type the answer, right? So at least there should be 3 to 4 or 5 answers so that I can reveal the actual answer. Okay. So the first requirement here is on the screen: a regional VP must approve all the healthcare opportunities valued over $500,000. Second, alert finance department when the approval is granted. Notify the sales rep their opportunity has been approved to close and create a reminder for a follow-up email. Update the opportunity stage to close one and send a thank you email to the client. Right. So you have to simply type up your answer. Either the answer should be click or it should be code.
Everyone answered so far click. One has written approval process with the click.
Okay, okay. So that is also click, right? So the answer for this is absolutely right. So we can achieve this requirement using clicks only, right? There is no need to use custom development in these. As someone has also mentioned that we can use approval process for all the approvals on opportunity, and we can use workflow rules for the alerts and the email thing, right? So
Yeah.
that was a quite simpler one. The second question is: Universal Container is running a sales contest for the current quarter. They want to generate buzz and keep the staff engaged. Sales reps should see the current contest standings as soon as they log into Salesforce. The current leaders picture displayed on the Salesforce homepage. A list of sales reps' existing pipeline opportunities that have a close date during the contest. So these are the things that they want. What approach you'll do for this?
So three have told me, four have told me click, two
Mhm.
told code.
Okay.
One as lightning flows also.
Okay. So that is also the clicks part.
Yeah,
Okay.
but coding is also 3 or 4 persons.
Right, right.
4 persons.
So, okay. So, based on our session so far, the thing is we have to go with an approach that best suits the requirement, right? There are possibilities that something can be achieved with one or the other, but what is the approach should be so that it can achieve the requirement in a better way. So that should be our approach. So the answer for this requirement is code as well as a little bit of clicking, right? Because if you go to the requirement, the sales rep should see the current contest standings as soon as they log into Salesforce, right? On their home page, they should be seeing the standings, as well as if you talk about the second pointer, the current leader's picture should be displayed on the home page, right? So this is quite a custom bit of requirement. They want a picture to be showcased on homepage, right? They want the current leaderboard on the homepage. So the ideal solution for this should be creating a component and placing that on the homepage, right? So I would say the coding approach will be visible, right? The session was more about clicks and drops, right? But that doesn't mean that the answer will always be click. Okay. So the answer over here is we can create a lightning web component, right, to showcase the desired content, and these are the desired content that we want to showcase on our component. And what we can do using the lightning app builder, which is a feature in Salesforce, we can simply drag that component and put it on the home page on the desired location. Okay. Okay, now the next one, and I think it is also the last one. When an opportunity reaches a closed won status, ensure a contact has been entered on the opportunity. Account type should be updated to customer. A new case should automatically be created to alert the installation team of a new job, and the new case should be assigned to the installation team automatically. So, what should be the approach to accomplish all these requirements?
All answers till now is click.
Great, great,
6 or 7. Yeah.
great. Okay, okay. So the
One is
answer is
saying play.
absolutely right.
Normally, right now the only only solution is flow, because we are not
Right.
going with the. But yeah, not flow is not on all, not the answer for everything. For
Absolutely,
other,
absolutely.
right? Like
Right.
validation rule will be is still there, assignment
Yep.
rule will be still there. So you cannot say flow to every answer.
Right. So if you talk about the very first pointer, very first requirement, ensure a contact has been entered to opportunity whenever it reaches a closed won status, right? So this is something that will be achieved using a validation rules, and the other thing will be used through flows and workflows, and the last one related to assignment that can be achieved through the simple case assignment rules. Okay. So there is one more, and this will be an interesting one. Make sure all the necessary information is being gathered through on screen prompts, right? So the first requirement is the main one. Make sure all the necessary information is being gathered through on screen prompts. Ensure the appropriate questions are being asked based on customer responses. Automatically create a new case if the customer's issue requires further investigation. And the last one is automatically send customer an email confirmation with their case IDs, right? So this is the most interesting one. I want to see answers for that.
Three 2% code, 2% click.
I knew that.
Three
Okay.
person code.
Okay.
Lightning flow.
Okay, okay. So majority is going with code, right? Okay. So the answer for this is
Survey and click also.
okay. 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 So the answer, the approach should be clicks here, right? Because if you talk about the first requirement, right, this is the requirement that had made certain of the audience to choose code, right? So this is something that whenever we are asking queries from the customer and whenever we are inputting the answers, it should be gathered through on-screen prompts, and this is something which can be easily achieved through lightning flows, right? So if we are aware, what we can do, we can display the prompts on screen prompts based on the previous responses and flows, right? Yeah, I think little bit of disturbance is there. I think it is from your side, Seth. Okay, great. Thank you very much. So I was saying we can achieve that functionality quite easily with the Lightning flows. From them, from those, we have the flexibility to display the on-screen prompts based on the responses, right? And also we can create, we can easily create records based on specified criteria, right? So as it was mentioned, uh, we have to create a new case, and this that can easily be done using flows also, right? And it can also be done using process builders, right? But I'm not going to talk much about process builders because these are the things that will not be available in each of near future. So the future is lightning flows. And also if I talk about the last requirement, automatically send the customer an email confirmation with their case ID. So this can be easily achieved using case auto response rules, right? So that was it from my side. I hope that this session will give you at least a small benefit to all of the audience over here. Okay, so with that motto, I'll say I'm done from my end. So let's
Yeah.
succeed together. And thank
Thank
you
you,
everyone.
Saud. We will just wait for some times if they have
Yeah,
any
sure,
questions.
sure, sure,
And
sure.
yeah, thank you everyone for participating in these type of sessions. And especially for the questions round, multiple answers were there. Right now, we can say lightning. When we came, we means Saud or me, Saf. We came into the Salesforce. There was lightning flow was coming into the picture, and it was only for the screen flow. There was nothing else. So whenever the screen prompt is coming, we always think like, okay, the flow is there. But now the lightning flow has like 5 or 6 things. So
Great.
we can think right now. Okay, the very good news is like now Salesforce is coming with the roll up summary thing, in lightning flow also. So that's why normally we think like, whenever the roll up summary is there for lookup, we will always do the trigger only. But now you can say yeah, I will share the Vidyashri for the recording sessions. Sure. I have started that recording, so I will share. So now, like we can do with the trigger, and we can do the lightning flow also. Any questions, any other questions if you have? Meanwhile, I will add one more point. Uh, Normally, any developers that who want to do the Salesforce development in too far and all that, always remember Salesforce development will be too much complex, because if it is not possible with the admin and click and code, click and point and click and point and click, or you can say the flows and validation rule. This means only the complex thing will come in the code. So coding is only possible if there is complexity. So that's why Salesforce development is somehow very complex in that scenario. Otherwise, Salesforce is always creating an out of box feature. So that's why we can do. Any other questions from anyone? Okay, so thank you, Saud. Right now they are not having any questions.
Okay.
We
Thank
will.
you very much. Thank you, everyone. And in case you have any question related to this in your future, you can always write to the host, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and also we have given the LinkedIn profile for Saud and Karan also, so you can connect with them also if there is needed.
Surely.
So the
Sure.
profile is there. So thank you, Saud.
Thank you.
I will not take much time of yours, everyone. I will talk about some multiple one or two things, and then we will be moving to the next point. So the first thing that I wanted to share with you is uh, we have an official account of Twitter, that is SF Dev Madhubani, and the reason behind that is because our group name is Salesforce Developer Group Madhubani. So that's why please follow it, or at least right now you can tweet about it. Uh, who The number of tweet that I can receive from the Twitter with this, you can say with this adder SF Dev Madhubani, maybe they will got a chance to win a swag from us. So this is the Twitter handler, SF Dev Madhubani. Please always remember it. I will put it in every slide for now, so that like you cannot forget, and you can also put it everywhere. Yeah. So, and the next point I'm talking about is like I will talk about a little bit. It will take only 5 to 7 minutes. like what exactly is coming into the Salesforce development you during this winter series and winter release and the spring release. So winter release was recently came up in October and November. You can say October, November, and in which Salesforce came up with the Salesforce function with the obviously Dreamforce Salesforce function. Salesforce function is not a function of inside the Salesforce. It is the function that can be created in any other language, in PHP, Node.js, any other language, and that using that function they can call the Salesforce things, Salesforce data, Salesforce methods, and all that. So that's why we can say now the Salesforce function is creating a platform limits, end of platform limits. End of platform limits. Right now we were only doing the coding into the Salesforce. Now we can do the coding in outside the Salesforce, and we can call the Salesforce function, and Salesforce function will take care of the Salesforce data and all that. So we don't have to be limited. The second one is LWS. If anyone have heard about the locker, lightning locker. So there was locker system in which it is telling you cannot use the, you can say, on document approach, DOM approach, anything that is not secured. So right now with this system, Salesforce is coming with the Lightning Web Security Service, LWS, and that is similar to, you can say, um, Lightning Locker, but much better approach. So you can say Lightning Locker was also like, you cannot use the global object, you cannot use the, you can say, wrapper inside the Salesforce, so like inside the JS. So yeah, anything that you are doing on the client side, Lightning Locker was there to secure. Now LWS is coming with that feature, and with the new features on all that. So make sure you can go into the, if you are writing an LWC, make sure to go to the sandbox and run the LWS, run the Lightning Web Service. It is very easy. You can run it, so you can test your component, Lightning component or a component can be tested in the LWS. If it is not working, so maybe sooner or later in 1 year, Salesforce will mandate it, and your every Lightning component will fail if there is any issue. So that's why please make sure go to the sandbox and check the LWS for every component. How to do it? It is very easy, very simple. You can directly go to the LWS and search how it will be available, right? Okay, the third one is dynamic interaction. I was talking about the, like what exactly is the dynamic interaction. So, and dynamic interaction is nothing, basically it is a, you can say, you can see the UI. It is the dynamic interaction. So LWC is there, but it is creating the the data, and it is very useful for Salesforce. So it is a custom development. Whenever you are clicking, you can see the map, Google map or address of that location. So that is very helpful for you. So you can use the dynamic interaction, and it is available in Winter 22. How it is working, you can go into the drill and check. But I am just giving you the example. So this dynamic interaction came up, and this is somehow very awesome, right? And the last one is lightning input. Salesforce come up with the multiple features, that is lightning input. In the lightning input, there was not much, the checkbox and that features was not there. Still, we were waiting for some multiple inputs, but lightning input is always becoming more richer and more richer, so that we don't have to use the aura or anything else. So lightning input is becoming more richer and richer. I'm not going to the detail because of the, I have already taken you so much time with the speakers and all that. So that's why I'm not going to do. So the first one, Winter 22, and now it is a Spring 22. That is coming, in upcoming 1 or 2 months, right? So in which the first thing that came is general enhancement. Enhancement is basically, you can say from February 1, 2022, it will be MFA, multi-factor authentication. Now every login will be multi-factor authentication, and that is because of because of security enhancements. So that is enhancement. Now it will be always multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication is using the OTP or using the authentication code or anywhere. You will not directly log in. So that is, they are coming. The second one is performance assistant. And if you will think about the what exactly is the performance assistant, now whenever you will go to the page, you can, whenever you are going to the page, and suppose we are talking about any record page, right? I'm just giving you the example. I will not go into the detail. So you can see here, let's see. So suppose this is a lightning record page. So I'm just creating the new record page. So the performance table will be created here, and you can see the performance of your page exactly is this, and what type of page you are creating, and how much second it is going to take. Everything will be there in the performance page. So suppose like I'm adding some components, so you can see. Suppose I'm adding one tab here. I'm creating a visual force page here. I'm adding multiple things here, and that multiple thing will be helpful for me to understand. Here you can see that Salesforce will give you the detail or idea, like how much seconds it is going to take, what exactly, how it is beneficial for our performance wise. So the tab will be open here. I maybe let's see if I can show you. 1 second. Just give me 1 second. And so yeah, this is something. You can go to the performance assistant, you can search for this, and you can see here, prepare, execute, and optimize. So it is going to give you the data, like how for which page, how much time it is going to take, what will be the best benefactor and everything. So for in spring 2022, you will you will go to the performance assistant, and you will be able to search your code or your component or your visual force page, or you can say your record page, how much it is ready, how much seconds it is going to take on the load. So that's why Salesforce is coming with this performances. Normally we always make complaint about the performance, like it is so too slow and everything. So now Salesforce is saying like, okay, why it is slow, how much time it will take, everything it will be there. So yeah, it is somehow looks like admin thing, but yeah, it will be helpful for your development also. So yeah, please do go and take care of that performance assistant, and it will be helpful for you. Yeah. So and the last thing, yeah, I'm again telling you, is like LWS is coming. So go to the Salesforce sandbox and test your component to the LWS. So it is coming again, right? Now the last thing that is very helpful for you, it is permission filter assignment. What exactly it is now, normally permission set was very, you can say it was very, it was not a very good UI with the Salesforce. Now user and profile, you can always see here, it is not with the good user or good UI. Now Salesforce has come up with the good UI for the performance permission set, and you can see the UI is somehow looks like very good. Like you can make the filter, you can add. So now it seems like it is just a list view. So before that, it's this is not a good look view. But if you go to any list view of any record, you can see the good UI, the good filter, the good everything. So now Salesforce is coming with this, permission filter expiration. So that's the two release notes that I was going to take care, and I was going to tell you, and so now we will play the quiz. This is the link, this is the URL, and please open this link. Please open this link and complete your test within 3 minutes. I will check the results, and I will ask the 2 or 3 persons email ID, so that they can receive any swag and vouchers from there, right? So quiz URL is this. I am putting this on this page also, in our page also, so that's why you can go there. Otherwise you can check, check the tab. Just give me 1 second. This is the link, and I'm just giving you the. So this is the link. You can open it. Otherwise, I'm putting it onto the document, onto the our environment page. So that's why you can directly go to the page, our Trailblazer community group page, and you can directly open that and put it into the open that Google form. It is somehow Google form in which you will you are going to take the test. So I'm putting it into the description, shortest description, later quiz. right? So hopefully I'm putting into the description, so that's why if you are not typing, you can go to the page and you can see the page is ready. Yeah, let me show you where it is. So you can go to this page, and here you can see the in the detail the link is there. If you anyone, if you have any problem, code, there is no pin, there is directly link the code. So you can go to the, you can go to this page, you can see, you can go to this page, right? And here you can see the link. This is the link, right? Just open this link, you will be able to start your, right? So please go to this link. The link is available on the page. Otherwise I am also I have also, I can also show you here. This is the code. Because the users are so much more than 15, so that's why. Otherwise I have to do, I can use the code, but right now I'm not using the code. So please complete the question. Anyone, if you cannot see the code, see the URL, you can message me here. Only 2%. I cannot. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Let me see. This is the link. Anyone who are not able to open the link, message me in the Q&A. I will give you the answer. Saud and Karan, they are exempted from this, so you don't have to do this. Just do it for fun, but you will not receive anything from here. Till now I have received 6. Everyone, please try. If you're new, no problem. Please try. It is a simple, funny question. Simple Salesforce notification, Salesforce information question. There is nothing technical about it. So please, anyone who is new and who is trying to do, just do it. Karan, you can also, Saud, you can also go do. You will not receive anything from my side. No swag, but yeah, at least for this round, if you're topper. Otherwise, because you are our speaker, you will always receive something from us. Yeah. Saud, I will need your email ID. You can ping me on WhatsApp or somewhere. Meanwhile, I will wait for some more time for the answers. Everyone done? I think, yeah, everyone done, right? Okay, I will wait for 1 more minute, and then we will go for the questions. Okay, so done. I will be start. I will start the answer with the answers. Whoever is the topper, I will take the till the name, and then he can message me his or her email ID, he or she. So we will go to the answers just for fun. So the first question was, anyone can let me know if you can see my screen clearly and can hear me. Saud, can you please confirm? Can you hear me and can see my screen? Yeah, okay. So the first question is, before Salesforce, Mark Benioff was working for. So he was working for Oracle, and he was the youngest vice president in Oracle, right? So he was working for Oracle, or he was working, right? So that's why our answer was this, right? So he was working for the Oracle. The next one, when Salesforce UI was created, Mark is Mark Benioff, who is the founder of Salesforce. So we were talking about the Mark Benioff, right? When Salesforce UI was created, Mark Benioff took consideration from which company? So the answer is Amazon. Salesforce, because in the beginning, every UI was so much tough. Mark Benioff was told us into the into their own book. Say, Mark Benioff has created a book, and the book name is, you can say, just give me 1 second. So the book name is Behind the Cloud. So in the Behind the Cloud, Mark Benioff was saying, like he was saying like the UI should be much better or much easy as Amazon. So that's why the answer is Amazon. He was looking for Amazon, right? The first competitor of Salesforce. The story behind this is very interesting. So the first competitor was Sable, and because at that time every company has a in-house software. So you were selling something in CD, or you can say in a desktop you were selling something, and you just have to install it and it is working fine. It was not on the internet, it was not as a like on the server, it was just a software that you have to install on your own system. So that was the problem. Several every company was saying that, and Salesforce came up, and Salesforce told that you don't need any software, you just need a browser, just internet browser, and you will give. So Sable was the first competitor of the Salesforce. This means Salesforce was a very good company in that time. Sable was the very good company in that time. Sable was creating a giving a conference, and it is a very interesting story. So Sable was giving a conference in that multiple business when a very big company was coming. So what Salesforce persons did, Salesforce persons with their salesperson, Mark Benioff, and every other person at that time, they hired a taxi every taxi, the taxi that is coming from the airport to that conference, airport to the conference, they were in the taxi and they were pitching their Salesforce software. So the driver was the salespersons and they were pitching their Salesforce, like if you are going to the Sibyl you will receive it, but we have a software that is online and everything and all that, until police came and police barricaded, like okay, no Salesforce person will be a taxi driver. So it was a very interesting story, and that is also written. So you can see the here story. Conference, there was a conference in France and there were airport taxis. So in the 45 minutes ride, Salesforce paid for, give them a chance to pitch Salesforce to these IT professionals. So the police were, of course, subsequently called, and no other taxi was available. You can see how they worked and how it was. They have to work so much better. Now Salesforce is number one CRM in the sales in the entire world. Old trademark name of App Exchange. So it is App Store. Mark Benioff purchased this app store, for App Exchange. About the App Exchange, any application that we built and put it on the on the internet of Salesforce, like so that any other person can use as a free or paid service. So that is stored on App Store, something like Google Play Store or Apple App Store. So in 2005 it was registered by Salesforce App Store, but Mark Benioff gave that person, the person name, Apple CEO name, the old Apple CEO name. What exactly is the name? The very famous person. Steve Jobs, yes. No, Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs, so he gifted that App Store name to Apple CEO Steve Jobs. So App Store was purely App Exchange first. Now it is gifted to Apple. So that's why App Store is for Apple, App Exchange for us. So yeah, that's that's a very interesting story. So that's why App Store is the correct answer. What is Salesforce pledge? Salesforce pledge is 111. So the 1% of the salary, 1% of your business will go to the organization that will 111. So that's why it is the answer should be 111, right? So you can go to the salesforce.org and you can see the pledge. What exactly is the pledge? So they give the 1% to the NGO to helpful someone. So what is the building name of Salesforce headquarters? So that name is Salesforce Tower. It is the highest skyfall building, skyline building into the California, and it is very famous with the name. You can see the picture and it is like very much good. So this is Salesforce Tower. You can see the picture. So it is very interesting. And Salesforce is doing that. Uh, Renting a new tower and making the name. So that's why it is very, wonderful. Choose the Salesforce event name from below. Salesforce event means, that is organized or driven from Salesforce. So Salesforce event is only Trailhead X and Dreamforce. Trailhead X is purely for developer and admin. Dreamforce is for all the business users, anyone who is using Salesforce, who is learning Salesforce. So Trailhead X will be coming soon, and I will be announcing on the Twitter page, on you can say on LinkedIn page, and so Trailhead X will be coming soon, and you can register and you can learn more about the Salesforce in Trailhead X. So and that is Dreamforce. Dreamin, basically Indian product. India has created Dreamin, India Dreamin. Now it is everywhere. Pakistan Dreamin, England Dreamin, London Dreamin. So multiple Dreamins are there, but they are created by us, any developer, any person, but not from Salesforce. Salesforce is only doing Trailhead X and Dreamforce. Are Mark Benioff and David Benioff related? The very big question. Yeah, they are brother. David Benioff is, I think, the director or producer of Games of Thrones. I am not so sure about it, but they are cousin. And David Benioff is famous for the director or producer of Games of Thrones. Yeah. Salesforce has its own community called Idea Exchange, where you can suggest the word and idea. So it is the idea answer will be Idea Exchange. How many release of 21 we discussed today? That is purely that what we talked today. So the answer should be 1, 2, or 0. What exactly the answer should be? Anyone? 0. The answer should be 0. Why? We talked about the season of 2022, not 2021. In the question is 21. We talked about 2022. You can see spring 22, winter 22. It is not 21. So that's why everyone answered wrong. Anyone have to say anything? So the answer should be 0, not 0 or 1. Anyone? So it was a funny one. Okay, so let's see. So until now, we have only one person who has a score big one, that is Harish. And I will because I have already a mail, so I will see if we can do, like, if you can choose two more person. I have the scores of every one person, so I will choose top three persons, and because I have already a mail, so I will send the email related to that. So for now, if you have any, my highest score is 80, the lowest score is 10, and you can see the scores is highest scores is 80 for Haris. Other than that, everyone has like 50, 10, something like that. So name of that's why I told you, like, first topper is Harish. Otherwise, I have to check only that person. I will see any if I can choose any other person from that, if Salesforce is giving me the allowance. Haris, can you please share your, let's see if I can copy screenshot. Okay, yeah. So any other question from you, from anyone? Yeah, the email ID I already have. Any other questions from anyone? I will share the recording in the same page, so don't worry about it. Udashri, hope this next event will be in March, and I think we will have some developers from Singapore also. So yeah, let's see. Thank you very much for coming, everyone, and yeah, hope you have a good weekend, and hope this session was very helpful. Normally, please try to join all the events, because we had around 70, 80, 80 registration, but only 25 persons were there. So that's why it is, like, it is not so good. So normally, please try to register and tell everyone of your team. It will be helpful sessions from now on. Thank you very much. Have a very good day.